Well, I don't think there's a huge gap. There are several good teams in the National Football League to this day. You have the Kansas City Chiefs who will preview tonight. That'll be a great matchup. It'll be a great test for both teams, and this could be a preview of the AFC Championship down the road. You have the Pittsburgh Steelers, great offensively, defensively. Oakland Raiders, who will be in contention, I think, in the NFC. You have the Atlanta Falcons. You have the Seattle Seahawks, all teams who have had success over the previous years. And the Seattle Seahawks has tasted what the hardware is like. So these teams will be, trying to get to this championship.
So you don't buy into the idea that this season it's the Patriots and everybody else?
Not at all. I think a majority of the teams have had great off seasons. This year. I think the acquisitions that they've been able to bring in.
A lot more teams are making trades than ever before.
Martavius Bryant, with the Pittsburgh Steelers coming back. You have Le'Veon Bell, who's happy now, back in camp, still seeking to get a big contract. But those are things that's going to fuel the fire this year and I think, make everything equal.
Personally, do you have any stories or experience going against Belichick or Belichick coach teams? Defensively, what they try to do, people that maybe give them an advantage over the rest of the league?
Well, I know it's a 3-4 defense that they run, and it's extremely tough against a 3-4 defense. You have to understand what the defense is doing. Zone blitzes are different. It's the same as a 4-3, so you have to be cognizant of that. Every time I had the chance to play against the New England Patriots, unfortunately, I was hurt. So I didn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance to really see what it was actually like. But I was dying to get out there, and at the same time, in the same breath, kind of relieved as well.
Hey, Mike, one of the things that I find so interesting, among a million other things about Tom Brady, is how good he is, and you could talk about this, at reading the defense in as little time as he has when he walks up to the line. I mean, maybe that's 18 years of experience, but he walks up, he sees what he sees, and right away he can make adjustments, make changes, and boom, he's off. And I think that's the advantage that the Patriots have. How difficult is that to do as a quarterback when you have so many other things that you're already worried about, but then being able to pause, see what you see, and adjust?
That's part of the professionalism of Tom Brady, and I think he works day in and day out to become the master of perfection, reading defenses. And to be a great quarterback, to win championships, you have to be able to read defenses on the fly and be good at it. And I think that's one of Tom's biggest assets.
How much of an advantage that Tom has played in basically the same system his whole career?
That makes all the difference in the world. I wish I could have played in the same system multiple years over and over again. Unfortunately, it's not that way for every quarterback, but it's an advantage. For him to be with Belichick, for the entire course of his career, has really paid dividends and has been equated to 5 wins, 5 rings.
So the thing you mentioned before the line of scrimmage, I think, so you see Bill O'Brien in Houston. He got down to Houston, and they never really put a priority on the quarterback early on. Then they brought in Brock. They hadn't figured that out. And one of the reasons that I think he and a lot of the other guys who ran offenses in New England and then left, whether it's Charlie Weiss or Josh McDaniels, there is nothing about Tom Brady's physical attributes that appear to be unteachable. And so the point I'm making is, let's say you coached Mike Vick, and then you go take on another team. You can obviously see, all right, my quarterback isn't running a 4-2. I can't ask him to be Mike Vick. Yeah. You coach Randy Moss, and then you go coach a new wide receiver. You're not like, okay, I'm going to teach him to be 6'5" with a 40-inch vertical.
Different intangible.
Right. Brady's 4'2" or his 40-inch vertical is his brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think coaches sometimes get tripped up thinking, well, Brock Osweiler can throw it just as far as Tom Brady. Whomever my new quarterback is, Brian Hoyer, he can make the same throws as Brady, so why can't I teach him what Brady does? And it's because it would appear Brady's brain is his secret weapon.
He's very cerebral, and he can beat you with his brain. Tom can go into a game and not run the football one time, and there's been games where we haven't seen him run the football. And even when he's under duress, he's still very consistent, and that's hard to teach. You can't get that out of every quarterback.
And I think that is the separation between New England and the rest of the league. We know talent. There's talent everywhere. Even the bad teams have a lot of talent. But when you have the continuity not only from an offensive standpoint, Brady's running a lot of the offensive meetings. Now, their coordinator is very good, but when Tom Brady can run the meetings because he's been empowered to, it translates into guys paying more attention to detail. All the guys come there with expectations. I'm going to be a good teammate. I'm not going to get in any trouble. That's one of the benefits that separates New England from the other teams. So it might not be from a talent standpoint, but they have a few things in Tom Brady being the centerpiece and his implementing the day-to-day what they do. I believe it makes it a huge separation between that team and the other team. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.